nighttime, right? So it's dark, so you can't really see a tornado very well, especially when it's potentially rain-wrapped, as this one is. There's a lot of rain in front of it. In Jefferson City, you have 25 minutes now to be taking shelter with this confirmed tornado heading in your direction. On the ground, everything we're seeing on radar still indicates that it is on the ground, and that it's very likely that it is on the ground as it's rolling into Jefferson City right now. Well, EF2 to EF3, right? It also depends on the strength of that building and other factors as well, and the winds associated with it. But certainly EF2, EF3 damage in Jefferson City. There's a difference. For example, this is what a blizzard looks like, right? It's a whiteout condition. You can barely even see me through this. And this is more like what a winter weather advisory will look like. 1.5 to 2 inches of snow per hour. That's a pretty high snowfall rate there. But you can see just over the past few hours how this line continues to push off slowly to the south as that snowfall overtakes the rain. There was a tow truck in the ditch next to the vehicle it's supposed to help. They were both stuck. See the road completely covered here on Business 54. And this is pretty much the same thing that we were seeing on I-70, on Highway 63. It looks like this. That means that we're kind of in the middle of everything. The cold, the warm, the wet, the dry, and that does give us an actual increased chance for that severe potential. That's something we're going to be watching here this season as we continue through the next couple months. For decades, scientists have known about the changes a warmer world would create. Now we're seeing those changes happen in real time. We can generalize those changes in the atmosphere as more extreme more often. To know the science behind it all. So in the clouds, it's very cold. It's starting off with snow always. And then we eventually are going to get a bit of a warm layer. And that's why we get the rain, because we have everything melting in this warm layer. Off my vehicle. All right. So folks, if you are trying to get up and get going, which of course, not advised still, but if you have to, this is what you're dealing with on your vehicle. Thank you for joining us for the annual Storm Mode Severe Weather Special. I'm KOMU8 Chief Meteorologist Kenton Gewecke. We have a lot of great information to share with you. Some of it is something you've probably heard before, making it for a good reminder, and some of it will be new. In the past year, the world has changed. It's different. We're all working and living differently. But weather keeps going. Severe weather does not take a break for pandemics or really anything else. That makes this annual Storm Mode Severe Weather Special so important. In a time when our attention is being pulled in so many different directions, we can come together and prepare for the unknowns we're used to. All right, well, again, we have been in a storm mode 4 for this system on our 0 to 5 scale because we have expected and still expect a significant winter storm to create hazardous travel, which is exactly what has happened here. The snow creating that hazardous travel as the main issue. A little bit of ice, a little bit of that glaze there. Not a huge issue, though. Hasn't caused widespread power outages or anything like that. Again, just some spotty power outages here. And then also a bit of wind and some very cold temperatures. And the snow, the wind, the cold temperatures, we're still talking about that moving forward now, because here's what we've seen this first round. Here's some snow totals. Moberly, 11 inches. Sturgeon there in northern Boone County, 9 inches. Mocaine, 8 inches. Columbia, we're officially just over 7 inches of snowfall and a little bit of sleet. That 0.2 is actually sleet from last night. And Mexico, close to 7 inches as well. Fulton, around 6 inches. And down in northern Miller County, a report of about 4 inches there. And again, this area to the south that didn't see as much today, northern Miller County, you're seeing the bulk of this snow tonight and tomorrow for us here in central Missouri. So your extra snow is on the way to get you up closer to where everyone else is already. So take a look at these current road conditions. You can see most of us are either completely clear or partly clear, or completely covered or partly covered in central Missouri. So a lot of white roads out there still, and that's what you're going to be seeing tonight and tomorrow as well, even after that snow ends. As we saw today, we've had multiple hours with very little snow this afternoon, and road conditions really did not improve much. That's going to be the same tomorrow. Even once the snow ends, we're still going to have issues on the roads throughout likely at least the rest of the day. So take a look at satellite and radar now. You can see again, we're in between these two systems. It's just clear as day on this map. It's pretty cool to see actually. The next round is over here in Oklahoma, and that is heading our direction. You can see there's quite a bit of snow falling there in Oklahoma right now. And so this is getting here closer to about 9-10 p.m. So here's 8 p.m. It's just now getting to our border. By about 10 p.m., it's getting to Highway 50. Once we head towards midnight, it's at I-70, and then it continues a bit to the north there in kind of a diagonal pattern as we head towards 6 a.m. That diagonal pattern going from about Paris down to Fayette, and then over towards Sedalia and everywhere to the south of there, which is why, again, Macon, Moberly, Sheraton County, Saline County, you're not going to be seeing much more snow from this system. You're pretty much done now for the event, actually. But everyone else, you still have more snow to come. This is 6 a.m. tomorrow, what we're still seeing out there. Of course, we have team coverage still continuing the rest of the night tonight and tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon and as well throughout the rest of this system throughout the day tomorrow. So stay with us and we'll keep you updated here on KUMU 8. Here's 8:45 a.m. Still starting to see this, but you can see it's starting to break apart closer to 9 a.m. And then by noon, just areas down here in Marys County, Osage County, Gasconade County, maybe a bit of Miller and Camden too, starting to see that snow slowly come to an end. So it's really that kind of Highway 54 and areas to the south of there by noon might still have a chance for some snow. But then by the afternoon, especially mid-afternoon, we're drying out and we're still going to remain just mostly cloudy for the rest of the day tomorrow. Here's a look at total snowfall accumulation still to come now from what I already showed you we've already received. So we're looking at an additional about 2 to 3 inches along I-70 and areas to the north of there, but about 2 to 3 inches there in that I-70 corridor. And then we're looking closer to 5 inches around Highway 50 and areas to the south of there. About 5 to 6 inches, even especially that 6-inch mark closer to Camden, Miller, Marys, Gasconade, and Osage County, where again, it just holds on a little longer. So as I mentioned earlier, you folks saw the least amount of snow today. You're going to see the most amount of snow tonight and tomorrow morning from this system, which is again why we still have these winter weather warnings in effect everywhere in pink, except for these counties to the north and northwest that are just not going to be seeing much snow for the rest of this system. But this is still going to give us a good forecast for us. We're still on track, exactly what we've been talking about here, 8 to 12. Some areas seeing a little bit more than that potentially, but 8 to 12 inches here across central Missouri for the most part is what we're dealing with. And that's been our forecast now for a few days. When we look at our wind gust cast as well, winds are still going to be breezy during this snow. This is 7 a.m. tomorrow, remember, where most of us are still in this snowfall. Winds are still gusting around about 25 to 35 miles per hour. And so that's still going to create the drifting, the banking, all of that stuff is still going to be happening tomorrow as the snow is coming down into night as well. Then 4 p.m. once that snow is already gone, we're still going to be windy behind that. Luckily, those will calm down as we head into Friday, but we're looking at some cold wind chills. On Thursday morning to tomorrow morning, we're looking at wind chills down to about -5. Then we're only feeling about 6 degrees for the high wind chill in the afternoon. And then we're back down to wind chills closer to -5 to -10 by Friday morning. Very cold ahead. 11 degrees tonight, though, for that low officially. And then 19 degrees tomorrow, which is similar to where we were today. But remember those wind chills in the single digits. We are going to see the sunshine on Friday, likely starting off a bit of melting because of just the sun, even though we're still so cold. And then 35 on Saturday, 37 on Sunday, more melting then, and a lot of melting next week with what's left over as we get into the middle 40s.